Oh, I was like, what? Yeah. What? What was the, first of all, who didn't even tell me what it was? There were 3 items that we were. Joseph, just because you're new doesn't mean you get off, Julian. All right, you're in now, man. You're in. So you're off because you weren't here. What was the homework assignment last week?
Protocol. Are you doing on Friday?
Something about if your business is not on track by the middle of the month, you have to put together a 15th protocol. And your assignment was, because we had them all here, I posted them on the Facebook page, all these ideas. But your assignment was to put your own plan in place for your 15th protocol. And send it to me.
How many did you get?
You know what? I didn't get any. So I was wondering what we could do for you all to pay penance. Everybody like to dance? Everybody... I'm joking. However, I'm very serious about it. So even if you're not going to take it seriously, I'm going to take it seriously. So I'm going to give you one more chance. I'll be like, damn, why did I come to coaching today? So I will give you all until next Monday to give me your 15 protocol. Meaning, I have a goal of selling or getting 2 listings this month. Or I have a goal of getting 2 more investment properties. Or I have a goal of picking up 2 more buyers. And I haven't done that. I have 1. Or I have 0. And it's the 15th of the month. So it's like, what do we have to do to put our foot on the gas? So that 15th protocol is, if I'm currently sending out 2 touches to my farm, well, I'm going to send 4 more, right? So just look at those things that are up there on the board and make them your own. But the reason I say this to you all is, it's no skin off my back if you don't sell anything. But I do care if you sell something. And what happens as realtors, and I know this because I've been there, is you say, well, I didn't get 2 listings this month, but I'll just get 4 next month. Because it was so easy to not get the 2 this month, then surely you'll get the 4 next month, right? So, and the reason, I could have said, all right, here's your 15th protocol, write it down. Now, Obi, this is it. This is yours. Do it. What good is that going to do? So that's why I said, write your own. Do what's going to work for you. You know, the things that you like, the things that you enjoy. Maybe you don't enjoy it. I'm pretty sure you all like to eat. So let's just put that aside and think of it a little differently, right? Okay, so that was the first thing. Who can tell me, who can finish this sentence? The secret to success is found in?
Follow.
Two people. Dana, do we have a BB gun? No. No. She said we don't have a BB gun. That'd be so fun, but then if people don't answer. Nerf gun. You need a Nerf gun. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. So what type of productive activities are you doing to move your business forward? Okay? And even if you don't want to say to move my business forward, what activities am I doing today that are making me money? And this is not a greedy conversation, y'all. I don't want this to sound like, oh, I gotta make all this money, right? But you do have to have the lights come on when you turn the switch, right? Like those little things. So that's what I'm talking about. This is not a greedy conversation. We had this, Arturo, we discussed this on Friday, right? Like what activities are you doing versus what Sylvia's doing versus what we probably need to find somebody else to do that's actually generating money. So the other thing I would challenge you to do, how many of y'all do a to-do list every day? Write down your to-do list. Yeah, I do that. I write down my little to-do list. So if you would, just take it one extra little step further, and when you write that down and you put all those things, put a little dollar sign out beside of it if it's something that's going to make you money, right? Like if it's, I got to go to the bank, or I got to get my car washed, or I have to go get gas, those do not get dollar signs, right? if you're calling your database, if you're meeting with a client, if you're scouting properties, if you're driving neighborhoods to get an idea of the market, those are dollar productive activities. Does that make sense? I don't need to see that. You need to see that. I want you to be cognizant, right? I want you to be aware of the activities that you're doing every day, because we all waste a lot of time. And the deal is, we don't know how much time we have. I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm just saying, we need to do the most we can with what we've got, right? So why not put our foot on the gas right now and push it hard and make things happen sooner so that we can play sooner? What thoughts? Somebody has something to say. Say it. I can't reach you. There's like cords and stuff. I can't get to anybody. So you're safe. The front row probably should just not talk. No, I'm joking. I love you. I don't know. I love you. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something you can do? The schedule thing with the little dollar, right? Just something to make you a little more aware, right? You all, if there's anything I know, and I know it, people who are high-level thinkers, okay? I'm not saying you even have to be like a multi-million-dollar producer right now, but when you're a high-level thinker, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. If it's not something that's right in front of you, that you're constantly looking at, constantly seeing, right? You're thinking about so many other things that you're on to the next thing. So you have to be constantly reminded. Does everybody agree with that? Like, yes, nod your head or say yes or something. Is that yes? Good. You don't think I'm crazy or no? No, you're fine. Okay. So you're perfect. You're great. So let's look at this a little bit differently. Let's say that this is a database of your people. Let's just take Obi, because I just love you. So, and Obi just knows everybody, right? And she knows everybody in her neighborhood, and everybody in her neighborhood loves her. So when somebody talks about selling their home, or their parents are going to go to a nursing home, we're going to sell their home, they automatically just think of you, right? Let's just rewind to like 2 minutes ago what I just said. High-level thinkers, out of sight, out of mind. I'm going to give you a scenario that we talked about a couple weeks ago. When you go into a store, let's just say we walk into Nordstrom, Deb walks into Nordstrom, and I walk up to you and I say, hello, can I help you find something? And you say,
No, I'm just shocked.
no, I'm just looking. And then Deb walks to the back of the store, and she starts shopping and goes and does her thing, right? She maybe goes upstairs to the second level, and then all of a sudden she finds something. She's like, oh, I'm going to try this on. What do? You go trucking back to the escalator and go downstairs, back through the little hosiery department, and through and find the lady that met you up at the front door and asked you if you needed something? Is that what you do? Find the closest salesperson. You all, that's what your database does too. That's what all those people in your neighborhood that know and love you, that's what they do. It's human nature. It's not offensive. They aren't trying to be mean to you. They aren't trying to neglect the relationship that they have with you. It's human nature. It's what they do. So you've got to figure out a way to stay top of mind. So when I talk about this 15th protocol, you have to have had a protocol to begin with. So maybe that's where we're struggling. And if we are, that's fine. Let's just back it up and start from there. Okay? Does that sound fair? Sounds good. Can somebody tell me at 1:25 to pipe it down and stop yakking, because we're going to have a little guest popping? Okay. So what are some things that you do right now regularly? Giovanni, I was just talking about you because somebody was asking me about a dialer and calling and stuff. I was like, oh, I got a guy. So what's something that you do daily to stay in touch with the people who know you?
For the people that know me, it's definitely a social media post.
Okay.
DTD2.
What is DTD2?
Do the database too.
What is that?
Doing 2 letters of the alphabet and calling your database by last name. And Keller Williams has been so brilliant and paired up.
This is not how it goes, by the way. But anyway.
That will make it easy for you to go through your database on a quarterly basis to make sure that you're calling everyone in your database.
So what happens is now you have a list, because I've done it. You print out that database, and you get to one, you're like, oh, I'm talking about, right? And you're picking and choosing who you're calling. And so this system prevents you from doing that. It's not A and B, it's like A and C and B and, right? Like it breaks it up by the day. What else? DT, D2, and what else?
My business model is just a little bit different, so I will prospect before sale by owners, expires, and probate proceeds.
Okay, who else? Who else has something they do on a daily basis to reach out to people who know you? Okay, so this is a little different because these aren't people that know you, but again, his business model is different, and that's okay. What do you do to make sure people who know you know that you're in real estate, and you make sure that they come back to the front of the store to tell you when they're ready to try something on?
I text or email usually.
Text or email? Some of you all got multiples of those from me this morning. My apologies. I was on a conference call and was dozing off a little bit. I thought, well, I'll be productive while I'm doing this. What else? Text and emails?
Doing Facebook messaging, like the direct messaging.
Facebook messaging or direct messaging. So if you're on Instagram, that type of thing. What else? Nobody does anything else to, okay, thank you, Bianca. Invite people to your events. Invite people to events.
I send out video messages on birthdays to past clients.
Yeah, touch everybody on their birthday. Walk in your neighborhood twice a day.
Walk in your neighborhood. Herb, what's something that we suggested for your business model?
I've been doing Facebook. I actually put together a Facebook ad that went out today.
What else? Facebook ad, or what's something else we talked about? Seminars.
Well, the one thing that I just started, which I'm hopefully going to start mailing out tomorrow, was the co-op agents. We talked about me sending a handwritten thank you note with either an MREA book or a shift book. Not just, those are more for other agents to possibly get them to notice KW.
Okay. So what about, we talked about,
reaching out.
yeah, the people that you know, right? The ones you like and know.
Right.
Okay, yeah. And then investment workshops,
Right.
right? So some people do investment workshops. Some people do first-time home buyer workshops, right? Like you, I know Nico, you were talking about, and Bianca, you too. Some of those things with first-time home buyers, the tools that they need, the things they need to do, right? When you become the source, when you're the person, it's like we were talking about for Herbie, what would that look like if he had his flooring people there, his plumbers there, his electricians there, and all of a sudden, all these sources, right? And I invite you to come to my investor workshop, and you meet all this crew of people that I work with, and now I'm your go-to person, right? That's the idea, is you want them to see you as the expert. You are the go-to. And it may not be with that, right? It could be something else. Maybe you work with first-time home buyers. Maybe you work with estates. But what is it that you have to do to stay in front of people to make sure that you aren't out of sight, out of mind, in a non-obnoxious, non-obtrusive way, right? So just for 1 second, if you all took 2 of those things and you did them every day, what would that look like for your business?
1 to 2 extra listings a month.
1 to 2 extra listings a month, which in your world looks like what? How much more money would that be for you a month?
An extra 10 grand.
An extra 10 grand a month. Well, especially since we just went over some statistics last week, right? We were talking about does anybody remember what's the average household income in the U.S.? $58,000 is the average household income. He just said how he can make an extra 10 a month with just 2 of these activities. Now, consistent, right? It's time on task over time. That's how everything is. And the problem with us is we're creative people, we're entrepreneurs, we want to do our own thing and run our own business. And then what happens is throughout the day, we become creative people and entrepreneurs. We're like, how can I wrap my car? Or what billboard can I buy, right? We just focus on these things that don't cost money and do them. They actually generate income for us. So, I mean, I know what an extra $10,000 a month for my family looks like. Or how many more? Do we need to add one more? Maybe we do 3 a day and then I can retire before I'm 90. What? You never know. I don't know that I have retirement in my blood, but I mean, if I did choose, right, I would be able to do that. So the thing that whenever we talk about this quote, the secret to success is found in your daily routine. The other thing, and we said this, gosh, a couple months ago maybe, success is boring. What? Success is boring. And you have got to wrap your brain around the fact that the activities that it takes to be successful are boring. It's the same thing every day, right? My son is a baseball player, and every day he gets up, he eats the same thing for breakfast, and he takes the same supplements, and he does the same workout, he has the same schedule, the same routine, every single day. And he doesn't wake up the next day and go, oh, I think I'll switch up. Maybe today I won't do this with my arms, or I won't do that with my legs, because that's not an option. He has a goal, and he's laser focused on that goal, and those are the activities that he does over and over and over. So some of you all have gotten there's an invitation, right? I'm going to do a dinner at my house, and I'm breaking it up by production levels. And some of you all got that invitation. And so, because I'm starting at the top, so I'm start at the top. And the idea there is I'm working my database just like you all should be working with your database. So you all are coming to a client event at my home, or I'm cooking dinner for you. Like if you have like an iron stomach. No, I'm joking. You know, right? And then but we're going to do the same. We're going to work it. I'm going to work until I get the entire group in, right? Because I want to make sure that I get FaceTime with each of you. Not just up here where we can't really interact, or maybe you have something you want to say but you don't want to say it in front of 30 other people, right? So I want to model for you all that I'm not going to just sit here and preach and tell you what to do. I'm going to walk the walk. I'm going to do it. Because when it's hard for you, when you're crying over it, or you're bored with it, or you're upset over it, I want you to know that you've got somebody in your corner that's doing the same thing, that's going to be here pushing you along. However much you want me to push you. I mean, that's a lot. I'll probably push you a little harder than you prefer, but anyway. Okay, who can tell me again, what are the 5 income-generating activities that you need to be doing every single day? I'm going to come over here like
Lead
these.
generate.
Whoop, whoop. Number 1, lead generate. Everybody's like frantically scrambling through their
Lead
notebooks.
follow-up.
Lead follow-up. Somebody else.
Go on appointments.
Now, what if I don't have any appointments to go on?
Back to lead generate. So you get an appointment.
What else could you do? You said you lead gen till you get an appointment?
Go back and lead follow-up to you.
Lead gen until you get it? What if you went to Starbucks and had your computer open?
Oh, that's fun.
You know, had a little sign, you know, I sell real estate, or I invest in real estate, or I loan people money to buy properties, right?
Yeah.
What would that look like? Okay, number 4.
Negotiate contracts.
I said somebody else. Stop it.
Script practice and role
Negotiate
play.
contracts. You better not answer, Bonnie. What's the last one?
Script practice and role play.
What? Script practice and role play.
Why isn't that number 1?
Scripts are terrible. Scripts are fake. Scripts just make you sound like you're somebody else. It's not even real.
You obviously haven't done that.
You obviously haven't done them enough.
Wow, that is an awesome.
Scripts and role play, you guys, you got to know. Is that my alarm? Thank you. Scripts and role play, you've got to know what you're going to say before it's time to say it. So don't practice on your client. Don't practice when you're setting an appointment that could make you $10,000, right? Or if you're investing in a property, this conversation could make me $40,000. So I'll know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wing it, hope I say the right things. Which is what most of us do. So, I mean, I have a group every Wednesday morning at 7:30. We're on a Zoom call. It's other team leaders. And that's what we do. We script and we role play. What do you say? What would I say? Blah, 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 right? So, like, one of my things, when I call somebody, and you all can use this, I'll just be, here you go, you can have it. And so when the script is, hey, Obi, it's Kim Buckner over at Keller Williams, and I am calling to find out where you are technology-wise in your business. So I'm just wanting to get a feel if you've done an audit.
I would say,
Yeah, and some people will say, what's a technology audit? Or why would I do a technology audit? And my reply is, Obi, that's exactly why we need to talk. It's exactly why we need to talk. Mr. Fizbo, you know, I see your home's on the market, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, why would I want to use a realtor? That's exactly why we need to talk. Because it is. But I have that in my head. I don't just sit there and go, oh, well, because, you know, right? Know what you're going to say. Be confident. That matters. People want to be in business with confident people. So, scripts and role play. So, we've been talking about having something here in the market center. We're just once a week. We put a little group together where people can come in. It's a safe place. You're not allowed to laugh. We'll, like, supply you all with water guns or something. If somebody laughs at you, you can like lay them on them, right? It's something, right, Nico?
So I actually just downloaded an app. It was like $6 and it's unlimited recordings. So now I just record myself before my calls and I go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just another way if you don't have anyone to go to it. But it's seriously, it was like $6 and it's unlimited. So.
Is that like a free
So-
conference call?
That's
what I use.
I'll get you the name of it, but literally
Okay.
you just hit it before you call and then that's it.
Okay, because I record my
super
coaching
simple.
calls,
Yeah.
and that way the client can have it, like, you know, so they're not like
Right.
frantically taking notes
So I
all
just
the
wanted to
time.
throw that out there.
But yeah, so the reason that I wanted to go over these things again is because number one, they're very important. And I had a different lesson planned for today, and if anyone had supplied me with their homework, we would have done that one. But it sounds like we need to keep focusing on the same things for a little bit, and that's okay. No, this is not like it's not what that's meant to be. I just need to want to make sure that we're focusing our efforts in the right place and what it is that we need to be doing to generate income and get more business, right? So sometimes we've all done business where maybe we didn't make any money on that deal, but that deal could lead to another deal, right? Like it's like the people that say to me, oh, I don't want to sell an $80,000 home. Those of you who do investment properties, what do you think of when you hear an $80,000?
I jump in.
Right? So everybody just has a different business model, right? Let me see if he has texted me. No, he has not.
He has not texted me.
And let me see if he has, what's her name? Alyssa, E-L-Y-S-A. Oh, here we go. Holy buckets. Okay, I'm going to try to set this thing up. So, while I'm doing this, or John, can you set up the Zoom from there if I forward you this link?
No, it's got to be on that one so we can see on TV. Right?
Okay, can I just show it? Can you do it from here? Here, all I have to do is just open up my email here, right?
Yep.
That's all, just like have a moment of silence that this works. I've been on the technology struggle bus today. So what are your thoughts? I need to hear a couple of ahas around these. Because a couple of you weren't here last week, so this is new to you.
No, but it's real, the technology of what we have to do hasn't changed. Either we, like you said, either we do it and make money or we sit on our hands and don't do it and don't make money.
Well, I think that we have a lot of times it's the whole, we were talking about this the other day in a smaller meeting we had, analysis paralysis, right? You think it to death.
Yep.
Yeah. And you think it, and you overthink it, and then you overthink it some more, and you just don't really know what to do, right? Because you just get to that point where you're just not sure.
Kim, do you want homework through email or text?
It doesn't matter. You can take a picture of it and send it to me. Whatever's easier for you. I don't want this to be hard for you. I'm not
No, I
trying
should
to
have
give
to want to group together.
extra work, right? But then this will give me something so that when we do sit down and do our one-on-ones, okay, where are we on this and how can I help you with some ideas, right? It's not just going to be me preaching to you, right? Who did I meet with Friday? There were a couple of you all I met with Friday, right? And sometimes it's just different ideas on how can we do things differently and think outside the box that will help you. I promise you it's not like a tongue lashing session. Not that I'm not capable of those, but we don't come from an area, this is from contribution, right? It's to help you.
Your husband's warned us about you.
Bless his little heart. Little angel. Okay. Of course Zoom is updating. See, See, I'm telling you, I'm like, I don't know what it is. I think there's something in my blood or,
Stay away.
yeah, I have this aura that's like, I don't know.
Oh, you were talking about technology, that's why.
I know. But yeah, generally it's very helpful and useful and all of those good things. So we're good. We have like 2 minutes.
See, we're ahead of the game, see? All right.
I was all worried. I should have started like 14 minutes early because generally it's harder. Okay, so, do I want to talk about that? No. But I do want to readdress the E to P. So when we talk about working in the E versus working in the P, okay, what's the E? Being entrepreneurial, right? Like I'm going to write my car and I'm going to, you know, whatever, all the fun things that we all want to do. Versus the P, which is purposeful. Okay, and so one of the things that we talked about last week was when you're feeling a little chaotic and you feel like your wheels are spinning and you're not really getting anywhere, that's how you know you're in the E. You know those days you're like, I was so busy, but really what did I actually get done? That's a big fat E moment, okay? Those days where you're just like beating your chest because, oh my gosh, I got so many things done, you were laser focused. Perfect example of where purpose would be the night before you're leaving to go on a vacation. Yeah. There's a couple of you all that can attest to that, right? How about those few days before you all left?
Actually, like, made my to-do list and actually went back and actually scratched them off. Usually I'll make them, but I don't really check them off. So it was like, okay, at least I was getting my stuff done.
Like on it, laser focused, because you knew it had to get done for you to move to the next place, right? So, okay, good. Here's the one. So when you think of this as this has to get done for me to survive, I think the issue, I know, the issue with us is there's always another deal, right? And we have this attitude of, oh, there's always another deal. I mean, I can just go sell another house, or I can go flip another house, or I can, you know, just go buy another rental property, right? Like I can just, I mean, the money will come, it'll happen. I mean, will it? And what happens if it doesn't? So the reason that I'm putting this back up here is because you have to make it happen. And when we talk about the time of year that we're coming up on, like I really want to beat that in your heads about the time of year that we are coming into. This last quarter, when people have to pay their dues, and so they're either thinking about, oh, do I get out of business or whatever, so your competition is less. Also, you got the holidays coming up, so people are just literally, they don't want to work. I've sat down with you all and looked at your trend reports, and we look at where you are financially in February and March, and everybody's like, well, crap, I guess, you know, on the holidays, I kind of, you know, I mean, don't feel bad. Like 90% of you in this room, it looks exactly the same. But it's because we take our foot off the gas at that time, right? What would happen if you got a little more purposeful about these activities and a little more focused? And like I said, who was I talking to? Like I said, instead of taking the whole month, what if we just said, okay, 2 weeks in December, I'm going to work really hard. I'm just going to really just kill it and do these and put my head down for 2 weeks, and then the other question is I'm going to take off. But if you did something, I bet it's more than what we're used to doing in the last couple of months of the year, right? Now, when everybody else is taking their foot off the gas. So now we're coming in. What's happening? You all feel it? It's starting to happen. What? The shift. It's happening, you all. And if I hear one more person say to me, I can't get a listing because, I mean, there's no houses out there to sell. Well, somebody's buying something, right? So it's like, how can we look at that a little bit differently? What do we have to do to make sure you're the person that's getting a hold of that instead of somebody else, right? Everybody's pointing. Oh. I get like excited. Let me join it with video. Hey, are you there?
He's there. He's smiling.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, how about it? Yes, we got you.
Yes.
We got you. You're good.
Awesome. So, hey, Kim, are we ready to get started?
We are. Let's do it.
Awesome. Number one, I love that purple, and most of y'all look great. So, hello, guys.
Woo! Everybody's like, who are you?
So here's what I want to do is I want to bring value to you guys. What do I want to bring?
Value.
Value, okay? So I thought this would be pretty interesting. Number one is I want to share what's the number one question most people ask when I get into this room is tell me the difference between the old bowl and the new bowl.
Yeah.
It's my understanding, though, that you guys have already taken the lab of bowl. Is that true? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Well, here's what's awesome. The lab is not the new bowl. So unless you take in the new bowl, I promise you it's different than the lab in a lot of ways. So let's take a look real quickly at the difference. So imagine this. We've taken away for sell by owners and expires, and we've gone to relationship selling, which means we're in touch with our database, creating relationships and referrals. It's what Gary's taught for the last 32 years. Would y'all agree with me, yes or no?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Next thing is this. When we look at our scripts, in the past, and not a bad thing by any stretch, we've said do it this way. We actually have introduced a way that we can continue to move forward with our permission-based script, where we're having a conversation instead of a script. And what I mean by that is we use the FORD method, and we're finding that more agents are making more contacts, having more fun doing it. And when we have fun and we do an activity more often, what normally happens? Say we make more money. We make more money. Hey, listen, did y'all eat Indian for lunch? Better get on with it, Chicago. Let's go. So the last thing I want to share, because honestly, about 90% of the new bowl is new. I mean, videos, exercises, what we focus on, the DTV2s, all of these things. The other one, though, that I think is real important is how we communicate. In the past, we've always looked at communication as being a conversation over the phone or face-to-face. And in reality, text and social media are a big deal, yes or no?
Yes.
So we count those as part of your communication because, guys, that's the world that we live in. I can tell you right now, Gary said, if you ask Gary what's the one thing a real estate agent should be doing, he'll tell you they should be in the new bowl. And they shouldn't get out of it until they get it. That's how powerful it is. So with that said, any questions around the new bowl? Not one question. You can make one up if you want to.
What would you say is the biggest change from the old bowl to the new bowl?
Well, I think the biggest change is who we communicate with and why we communicate with them.
Yeah, but
That's
that,
the number one thing.
how can you tell me that
90%
changes?
Sorry?
How can you tell me that changes? We're still talking to people, we're still creating relationships.
So yeah, where was our focus in the original bowl?
Calling people. It was always calling people on the phone.
Yeah,
It's 2 hours a day of lead generation.
Yeah, but only calls.
Correct. So
Yeah.
it's always calling people on the phone. Now,
Yeah.
guess who are we calling on the phone now?
We were calling our database, we were calling for sale by owner, we were calling expireds.
Okay. So in bold, in the new bold, imagine this. Number one, yes, we still make contacts. The number one way to a referral is through a conversation. Now look at the conversation through social media, through text, and on the phone. Think of it this way: we introduce events, business to business, okay, by using the insights. We use events to continue to have that contact go through there. Open houses, how to do it at a 7th level, where we always have a purpose to be in contact with our people. The foundation of success in real estate has not changed. And it is the relationship that will drive our business. It's the one thing that we have over every other company that's coming after our commission, is they cannot get to the dinner table. We can. And if we're not at enough kitchen tables in Zillow, they'll figure out a way to have those conversations without us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to me, it's changed dramatically in our focus, and yet we still have to have a conversation. It's kind of like dating. You can text and social media with somebody at some point. You got to have dinner with them, yes or no?
Absolutely.
So that's the biggest difference. And don't mistake my my intensity for more than just passion. Because guys, I am super excited the results that we're getting. Am I scaring a bunch of you?
Sure.
This is the question I get a lot, is that, oh my gosh, is it just eye candy or will you bring value? That's not funny, it's true. Now you out of this. Well, here's the question that I keep coming back to is, how many of you want to make more money in 2020? Raise your hand. Okay, awesome. So I want you to think about this. You're going to have to think differently. Does that make sense? Hey, do me a favor. You want to do something fun that'll stretch your thinking? If I just help you think differently, will it be worth our time today?
Yes.
Okay, do me a favor. Write down how much money you're going to make in 2020. No judgment, just how much money are you going to make? And with technology, I can see you not writing.
You
Get it written down? It's okay. All I want you to do is look at it and tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident that you're going to make that number happen.
6.
So I'm going to get you to think differently. I want you to look at that number and ask yourself this question. Who do you need to be to make that amount every month? Who do you need to be to make that amount every month? And let me share with you, and I'm going to bring a guest in here that's in the class with me. In 2006, I got my real estate license. My goal was to make $100,000. Okay? Because of the growth and bold and the people that I've been in the classes and the people I've been into, in 2014, our goal was to net $100,000 a month. And it's not about me. If you're not proactively seeking growth, so whatever you have in the past, I mean, that's fine, that's awesome. We want you to think differently moving forward so you have a different result. So whatever your mind is telling you, I've already done it before, he's just pretty to look at, whatever it's telling you, I want you to sometimes think the opposite and let's go find out what's possible. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So how would y'all like to meet somebody in my class? So this is Jason. Say hey to Jason, Chicago.
Hi,
Jason. Hey, Chicago. So perfect. So I asked Jason, he's been in the old mold and the new mold. So I said, Jason, well, number one, Jason, tell them about your team and where you are in real estate.
So I've got a team, about 15 agents. We'll do about 10 of those are new, and I actually took gold for the purpose of recruiting to our team was the main focus I had. 10 of those folks are gold, and we'll do somewhere between 200 and 220 transactions this year.
So 220 transactions this year. So they asked a great question. Really, what's the difference that you see in between the original mold and the new mold?
I'm going to give you the 3 key differences that I see, and then I'm going to start with saying the mindset. We all need a refresher on that every day. So mindset number 1, the mindset and the principles of mold have not changed, and yet we need them repeatedly to be reminded of those things. And the new things I learned, number 1, I love the relationship skills. Huge. I mean, the new framework for conversations, you're absolutely going to love. And it lines up with what Gary's been preaching for years in do the database. So do the database, and you get a system. You get a plan that's going to ensure if you follow it and execute, you touch your database 4 times a year by phone call. Not by the newsletters we send out, the postcards, social media, 4 times by phone call, which is amazing. So the database is number 1. Number 2, I love we get the presentations included in bold. You're going to walk away with a listing presentation and a buyer presentation that you can walk out of bold, whatever day it is, go home and go to a kitchen table or your office for a buyer appointment and use that presentation. And number three is the environment. The energy around this new bowl with what's going on, and we joke, it's not really new bowl. It's the same thing Gary's been preaching. It's just put together in a way that we can go execute. It is so easily implementable that you walk away without any questions on what you want to do. And it's in alignment with where our industry and Gary Keller is leading our company. So those are my three things. And I've taken bowl 3 times prior. I've been at Keller for 5 years. Taken it 3 times prior. This is the new bowl, and absolutely love it. And I was on the fence. I was on a Zoom call like many of you. Scott did a Zoom in our market center, and I said, I gotta see if this guy's still as good to look at as he is on camera. So I showed up, and it would have been a costly mistake for me not to be in this room.
Awesome. You guys have any questions for Jason? Guy, you doing 220 transactions?
Everyone wants to know how
Did you-
what he's doing?
What would you say is the biggest change you made in your team as a result of the new bowl?
Great question.
We're putting a lot more emphasis on our database, which we never should have gotten away from. It's really centered us back to what Gary shares with us, that if you never leave the basics, you never have to go back to them. So we're really going back to the basics of the database with a system that we can consistently follow and is providing value to our team
What did
and
you,
our clients.
how many transactions did you do in 2017?
In 2017, I think we were at 60 transactions in 2017.
So the key there to me, Jason, would be that you said a system that you can actually follow, that you can consistently follow. We were actually just talking about that. I had no idea what you were going to say. Have we ever met? You know me, Jason?
We have not ever met.
No, never met you. We were literally just talking about thinking about the whole entrepreneurial thing versus the actual doing. And so we had a challenge last week of putting together a 15th protocol, and just wanted everybody to give me their 15th protocol. And we had some challenges around that. And we've come to realize that it's just a matter of what is a system that you're actually going to implement. We have all these great ideas and all these things float around the sky that we're always reaching for and going after, but to have something tangible that we can actually do and manage and create results with it is a whole nother ballgame.
Well, what's really cool, Kim, and I appreciate you saying that, is what Gary says. The reason why he's so behind this new bowl is we're an injection system, and it's very unique where you get to learn something and then implement. That's the difference between the training course and the training and conditioning course. We're not going to tell you, hey, do this, do this, do this. We're going to do that. And every week, so we don't take bold and implement. We're implementing while we do bold. That's what's the secret sauce of why so many people's business and lives get impacted. Because it was left to our own. I mean, how many of you learned something you don't remember? Raise your hand. Perfect. How many of you don't remember if you learned something? Better. So again, I just think, guys, that I would love for you to be there. I wouldn't be a bold coach if I didn't ask you to do it. We believe it is the #1 training program in the country in our industry, and I would stack it against any industry. And with the rewrite as being as powerful it is, we've seen tremendous engagement in a model that can be implemented not for now, forever. And that's a big deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and for me,
Go ahead, Jim.
no, I was going to say for me, like, I still have a team in Kentucky. So for me, it's like, am I doing the same actions here? Are we consistent? Right? I'm going to do the same thing here that they're going to do there. If I choose to expand in another state, are we doing the same thing there? Right? We have a systematic thing going on where it's consistency.
Yeah, most of us want to get creative. You walked out to your car and there was a flat tire. Would you build a tire or would you buy a tire?
Right. Or would you call your husband?
Buy a tire. Okay, so again, I just think that we have the system and it's proven to be a phenomenal model. In the end, Kim, I know we don't have much time. I just want to ask every one of you to do the right thing for you and your business. Come get registered for Bold today. It looks like you have about 15 people, 20 people in the room.
What do we have?
27.
27, almost 30, 25 people.
Okay, we've already got 3 people registered for full bowl, which is awesome. Here's what I'll do. If you get to 10 today, if 7 more people register, you can pull one of those people and I'll pay for their bowl.
Woo!
So, yeah. Everybody gets from Kentucky and I have teams. She's awesome.
Cool, all right, we can do that. Oh, I'll shoot. What?
7 more.
Okay, I gotta get 7 more, and then I can take those 10 that are already registered, put them in a hat, pull one out, and you're gonna pay it.
I'll pay theirs.
We're recording, everybody see that? Okay, got a lot of witnesses.
All right, hey guys, are there any questions for me before I get you out of here?
No, we're good, thank you, and thank you, Jason, we appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's awesome. Okay, so I think, let me get him off here. So love you, Scott. You're the best.
So he's going to be the board teacher?
Yes. So Scott, he's actually, he used to be the regional director in the Ohio Valley when I was there. When I first started, when I first was an agent, he was not the RD when I was a team leader there. So he was regional director. He's been an OP. He's kind of done everything in the company. But he was the very first bowl that I ever went to. I took it with Scott. And so then I just loved it. Oh, it was amazing. And comes up the next year and I signed up and I thought it was just so fantastic. And I wasn't as impressed. And I have yet to have a lone coach that I liked as much as I liked Scott. I was more productive in that one. I don't know. It's just his style. I don't know what it is, but it was more successful to me going through bowl with him than any of the other ones. So there's that. So Rhonda, do you have any of the registration forms? Over by Lisa. So here's what I need. The first step to bowl is free. Okay? Yeah, let's just pass these out. I'm just gonna stick these back in. So the first step is free. And think of it this way. So Scott is a bowl coach, or a maps coach. So we both coach and maps together. He does bowl. I do maps, right? Like so mine's agent, his is bowl. And so when agents pay for a coach, some of you all have mastery coaches. How much is a mastery coach a month? $1,000 a month. And how much time do you get with that?
30 minutes.
30 minutes a week.
48 weeks.
So let's just say at $1,000 a month for 2 hours. Is that fair? Is what you're paying. You come to First Steps, you get to be in the room with him for coaching. You can do it. You don't even have to be here. You can sign. You don't have to be one of our agents. You can go. Think of it as 7 hours in a room with a coach, and you aren't paying for it. So just First Steps. Just go to First Steps. And yes, when you go to First Steps, they're going to be like, oh, you should sign up for the full bowl. If you don't want to sign up for the full bowl, don't. But go to the First Steps. Get a full day of free coaching and get as much out of that as you possibly can. So that's what this form is for. If you want to just sign up for the First Steps, we will get you registered for that. And then if you decide to do the full bowl, you can. But this is something that, yeah, you'll have to, some people are going to have to take a day off work. Thank you. Yes, Kim. What is it? Who can tell me when the, or is it right in front of you? So October 9th, it's on a Wednesday. So bowl is always going to be on Wednesdays. So we need to, on our list, let's go ahead and get these mounted. I about killed myself twice. It's not tripping over these TV. And I'm like a little short, stubby legs. So what questions do you all have about it?
So everybody got a
Oh, did I mention we're going to get a party bus and go there for the First Steps so we can all ride together? Oh, she left that out. And did I mention that I may or may not have talked to a couple of our lenders and one of our attorneys that said they'd be happy to ride on the bus with us and maybe feed us? Or, you know, like, yeah, what? Did I forget to tell you all about those things? So, yes. Our market center is 142. 142. Okay, so while y'all are doing that, I want to finish up on a couple of things. And y'all are going to have to keep me, he's got me off on my. I love, though, how some of those things went right along with what we were talking about, getting even planted. So, one of the questions that I was going to ask, you know, when he told you all to write the number down, and then he said, who do you have to become to earn that every month instead of every year? One of the things that I had asked, a question that I had to ask you all was, if I were to join your team tomorrow, me, if I'm gonna join your team tomorrow, what adjustments are you gonna have to make to help me climb the ladder? If I said, Lynette, I'm joining your team tomorrow. Here's how much money I want to make, and here's what I want to do. What adjustments are you going to have to make to your business to help make that happen? Because, I mean, we all know part of just being in any leadership role at all is you help other people get what they want, and then in turn, you get what you want. If you flip that, and you just go after what you're wanting and only what you're wanting, you're not a sustainable good plan. You help other people, and it'll all come back to you.
But I was going to say, the one thing that you have to do is break off some time to train that person, give them some education,
Sure.
give them some leadership, give them some guidance.
Yeah, you can
give
do
them some
that.
instruction on what to do.
You can do that, but if you, let's just say you've trained me and everything's done. What does your business have to look like in order to be able to give, I'm going to be a buyer's agent on your team. What does your business have to look like in order for me to make a good living?
To lead generate more, to get more clients, to provide the buyer's agent.
Right. And so you just, those are things to think about. You know, whenever I was coming here, I put in 6 months of what I was going to do to develop and change up systems and do some things differently because my team looks very different when I'm not in the middle of it telling people what to do. However, my family still relies on that as a source of income. So I don't want that to like go bust, right? Because I left, I still need that business running and functioning. So putting some systems in place, that's part of what I'm so excited. I didn't get to be a part of the whole lab, so I haven't done any of it. So this is all brand new to me, and I'm very excited about it, of having something that I know I can actually do. I am not going to sit down and cold call 100 people a day. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And if they said, hey, that's the only way you can do it, make it in this business, I'd be like, well, Target, here I come, or whatever, right? Like, it's not my style, you know? I'm not a random door knocker. I'm not like, it's just not it's not what I do, right? But I love relationships, and I love helping people. And I love being the connector. I love that people still call me and say, I need a plumber, who should I use? You know, I mean, they can ask anybody that question, but I love that they call me and ask me, because I know somewhere along the line, I provided them with some type of value, because that's what it's all about. So if an agent came to you, what is something that you feel like you do? Let's just not even say it's on the team, right? If an agent came to you and said, tell me one thing that you do that you really think helps grow your business and helps you be productive, what would that be?
For me, it would be connect with people.
Connect with
Every
people.
day.
Yeah, connect with people every day in one way or another, right? What else?
Working my sphere.
Working your sphere. And when you say working your sphere, like we all have that intent, right? Like it's something that we all want to do. I showed you all my Fun People AM system that I use, right? But it's how I keep track, because I have a lot of conversations every day. I take a lot of notes. I know people think I'm very old school because I have like, you know, notepads and all this kind of stuff, but I have to do it that way. It helps me to remember, it helps me to retain, because I talk to so many people on a weekly basis, right? What else?
For me, I think it's that I have a strong knowledge of working with investors and understanding the investment process and where the future is going.
Yeah, and I mean, who better to trust, right? So it's making sure that you're maintaining that relationship. But one of the things that I have on here is it's your customer, serve them from their perspective. And that's hard sometimes, especially once we get a little taste of success and we're doing pretty well in this business. It's very hard to not be like, well, this is what I do and it works for me, and Odie, you should do it too. Right? Or I sold 12 houses in your neighborhood and this is how I sold them and I'm going to sell yours the same way. That's not necessarily going to work for her. Right? So it's like, how are we going to serve? What type of mindset are we going to do? And the other thing that I wrote down here is it's not about how you feel. Service is a belief. So you may not like someone. You may not, you know, we've all sat down in those listing appointments before, had an appointment with a client, you're like, yeah, we are not clicking. Have you had that?
Yes.
And you don't feel it, right?
Yeah.
But when your core belief is, I'm here to serve this person, not picking and choosing, right? I'm really here to serve them. Then you have a little bit different mindset, right? What? I see your wheels. Okay.
It's really good.
So, do you believe in what you do so much that when you enter a room, other people feel it? And that's something that I wrote down. Have you ever done that where you write down something over and over and over and over? Like just take a piece of paper and you just write it. The first time I heard that, I just wrote it. And I thought, I want to make sure that I believe in what I do so much that when I walk in a room, people who don't even know me feel it. And it is. Because when you walk into an appointment with someone, they feel a difference being in a room with you. Right? Like you get around certain people and you just feel, you all feel it. I don't even have to ask. This room looks very different today than it did the very first time I stepped in here and did a group coaching. Does anybody remember how many people were in that? Who was it the very first one? Javon, yeah. Oh, no, what? We had like 8 people in here. Oh, way too many hands. Who was it the very first one that we did? Yeah, Nico? Very first one. Very first week I was here. There were 8 people in the room. Yeah, 8 people in the room. But when you know that people, when you start to feel the difference, right? It's not a matter of just getting up here and I'm just going to choke down some things that I've been thinking and hope you all buy it, right? Yeah, no, they believe it. It's the same way with you guys. So I'm very excited about gold. I know gold is a scary thing. I don't even think half of you care about how much money it costs to sign up. I think most of you, it's the time that it's going to take and the homework they're going to ask you to do. And what are they going to ask of me? And what am I going to have to do? Well, God forbid you sign up for something that's going to put you people to work. Woo! What are we thinking, right? So the thing that helped me the most was when I did it, and I did it at a high level. Even when I got out of mold, I was just halfway doing it, I was still reaping the benefits. So just think about it. Sign up for the first steps. Fill out your little form there. We'll get you there. We'll coordinate because I got to know how big of a bus to get. Got to make sure you get a big old bus, or maybe I get 2. We'll figure it out, all right? What ahas? I need a few. Give me 3. What'd you learn? Anything? It's like so much. Like, bring it. Okay, Rhonda.
I just actually found my notes from your first meeting, and the first thing you said was, "Don't think and act like a business person, like you contradict."
Yes, very good. Look at that, Scott.
I think some of the stuff from the 15th protocol is just steal from that to set up your 30-day protocol.
Absolutely.
And then
just do more of it.
Just double it. Yeah.
Right.
Some of that stuff is super easy.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. What else? Violet.
I like what you said about high-level thinkers, out of sight, out of mind.
You're the exact same way.
You finally made me not feel bad about it because it's like my mind is spinning all the time.
We all are.
And that's why those goals have to be like in front of me all the time.
You'll see business planning clinic. It's going to be a very different business planning clinic than you've ever done. And I felt really bad because the region contacted me and they were like, "You don't have very many people coming to the regional," and I was like, "Well, they don't have to." I didn't say that. That's what I was thinking, because we're going to have an amazing business planning clinic right here. And so one of the things is it's very visual. I'm a very visual person. In order to keep track of what I'm doing, I have to have it right in front of me. So you'll love that. There were a couple other hands. Yes.
Yeah, I think for me, I've been doing this for a while, and I happen to repeat a lot of the same stuff, even if it doesn't work. So I think what I need to look at is that I do need that mindset refresher.
Yeah.
That I have to change my way of thinking, or I'm just going to, like Violet said, I'm just going to keep spinning my wheels.
You do, or you just stay in the right in that same place all the time, right? Anybody else? Thank you. Julianne.
Success is boring.
Success is boring.
Yeah.
We want to make it fancy and sexy and all these things, and that's just not what it is. It's doing the same things over and over. Thank you. Lisa.
I'm really excited about this next level of bowl. This is like bowl 3.0. We went to 2.0 when it was the labs, right? And I would be in the car going, okay, this is like totally different. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's evolved at this point.
I'm very excited to see it. And I took it, once I moved into a leadership role going to bowl, we started doing things differently. So we will meet here as a group once a week and work on our homework together. Sometimes we just sit in here and cry. Sometimes it involves wine. But we all get together and do it, and it's very supportive, and it makes life a whole lot easier. Because when you're trying to do that stuff on top of your business, you're in the bowl room all day, and you get out of bowl, you're trying to make calls and get caught up for the day, and it's just hard to get it all done. So I know every time bowl comes around, I'm like, oh, bowl is coming. Like, yeah, the bowl is, it's that mixed, right, reaction. Okay, so hopefully today was valuable for you all. Hopefully get your week started off well. Let's give him just a minute. Let's see who the lucky winner is. Can we give a little drum roll?
Jen, can you get the slide? Please, the plan.
And while he's coming up here, real quickly, can we give a big old shout out to Miss Rhonda for climbing on a ladder and putting all these balloons up? And let's give a shout out to Dana for blowing them up.
Okay, so a company picnic, we did a 50-50 drawing. Well, the drawing is going to be now, but 50-50 raffle. We collected a total of $530. Excellent. So the winner gets $265. KW Cares will get $265. And this is going off of your raffle ticket number. So go look it up if you don't have it with you, or come in and do it. Who wants to be it? Heidi, you're right up front. Why don't you draw the lucky number?
No pressure, Heidi.
I want to make sure everybody still loves me after I.
It's just a number. You don't know who it belongs to.
And they changed this and.
Make sure you just have one. Got it. We've got one. The lucky number is 934685. 934685.
The winner is to be determined.
It's true.
That's it. It's a real thing. Perfect. Thank you.
There it is.
All right, guys, we're going to make it a good week. So let's go.
To the top.
You're getting better.
That was better.
That was better. Let's go.
To the top.